Hello everyone, and welcome back to more Magic the Gathering lore. I've been getting a lot of requests lately to do a video on Garruk Wildspeaker, mostly because he plays a prominent role in the newly released Magic 15 core set. It is because of this big role that I was reluctant to do a video involving his story. I wanted to wait until all of the new information was available. As we wait, I thought I would answer another question that I've seen reoccur lately, and that question relates to Garruk and his curse. Many people don't understand how he was cursed, and even more don't understand the timeline relating to his cursing. So hopefully this short video can help shed some light on the state of Garruk leading up to M15. I'd like to note that I'm aware most people pronounce his name as Garruk, but for as long as I could remember, me and my friends have always pronounced his name as Garruk. So I'm sorry for the inconvenience if you think that this is a little mispronunciation, but I just prefer calling him by the name that I've always called him, Garruk, rather than Garruk. So all of these events began on the plane of SeibenLore, when Garruk traveled there to hunt a huge predatory creature for sport. As was his normal tactic, Garruk summoned beasts to aid him in this hunt. These beasts were very important to Garruk, and he treated them as extensions of his own being. The plainswalker Liliana Vess was also on SeibenLore at this time, searching for an ancient artifact known as the Chain Veil. This artifact was known to grant the wearer immense power, but only if they were strong enough to survive its corruption. Liliana was sent to find the veil, not for herself, but for another, and as she began to enter the tomb where the artifact was hidden, she was attacked. The beast charged at Liliana, and she was forced to terminate it in order to protect her life. She was unaware that the beast was in fact one of Garruk's summoned hunting companions. Feeling the personal loss of his beast, he flew into a rage and started to track down its murderer. It did not take the master tracker long before he stood in front of the same tomb which Liliana had entered moments ago. The green planeswalker cornered the necromancer near the end of the tomb, but he had arrived too late. Liliana had placed the chain veil upon her head. Garruk attacked Liliana, but he was no match for her magic, which had become empowered by the forces of the chain veil. He was brushed aside by a surge of black magic, which corrupted his body and soul. The chain veil's powers are strong enough to easily kill even the greatest of warriors, but Garruk and Liliana were both strong enough to survive its power, but just barely. The curse of the chain veil corrupted Garruk's body and summoning powers. He could see his body become malformed. He grew in size and strength, but was losing control over his abilities and his anger. He could not shake the rage that was growing inside of him. This rage corrupted the very beasts he summoned, turning them into blood-crazed, diseased abominations. Garruk was desperate to remove this curse, wanting to return back to the days of hunting with his companions. He searched and questioned every citizen of every plane which he thought may have had some contact with the necromancer. As his curse was reaching a tipping point, he finally tracked Liliana to the plane of Innistrad. He found and cornered the Black Planeswalker. He would finally achieve revenge and remove the curse that tormented him. Unfortunately, Liliana's powers had grown substantially with the Chain Veil, and they were fighting on a plane which had a rich supply of black mana and dead bodies. With these resources, Liliana summoned an army of undead which swarmed Garruk. He dispatched the entire horde, but it proved to be a good distraction. Liliana took the opportunity to escape and finish the business which originally brought her to Innistrad. Distraught over his failure, Garruk gave in to his corruption. He walked around the plane seemingly mindless, yelling and fighting uncontrollably with any living thing which crossed his path. It truly looked like his curse was to be his closing chapter.
I have entered an accursed plane, where even death is not absolute. A foul land where nothing seems right, where abominations run rampant, preying on a terrified populace. A fitting refuge for one as venomous as Liliana Vess. This consort of demons has damned me with the curse of the Chain Veil, and she will revoke it, or she will die. Should I prove victorious, perhaps I'll aid those who would stand against this darkness. But time is short, and I feel her curse consuming me. And my greatest fear is that I may relish the monstrosity I could become. Ascend into darkness.
But this was not the end of Garruk's story. With the events unfolding on Innistrad, the Hell Vault was shattered, and the great angel Avacyn was restored. Avacyn wanted to bring a balance to Innistrad, which was lost with her confinement in the Hell Vault. With this goal in mind, Avacyn casted a spell called the Curse Mute over the entire plane. The spell was not directly intended for Garruk, but rather to remove the various curses which had been casted by dark forces while she was away. Nevertheless, the Curse Mute hit Garruk and relieved him of the worst symptoms of his curse. With his mind temporarily clear, he looked for the angel who casted the Curse Mute in order to find a lasting cure. Through some strange events, he found himself in front of the angel who could feel the curse still surging in the veins of Garruk. She could sense that he was a proud hunter and wanted only to live in peace from this curse, but she could not help him. The curse was not of Innistrad, and so she could only treat some of the worst symptoms with a spell, but the curse would still remain. Avacyn's spell allowed Garruk to remain in control of his mind, but could do nothing for the state of anger and rage that was building inside of him. Eventually, the curse would manifest again, and although he would remain coherent, he would not be the same to the eyes of others. With that in mind, Garruk left to an unknown plane. He lived curse-free for a while, but he could feel the chain veil once again surging in his body. Before he fell fully under its corruption, he kept in mind that a plainswalker had done this to him, and that he must find and kill one. As he fell again to the chain veil, only one thing echoed in his enraged mind: find and kill planeswalkers. So there you have it. I hope this clears up the timeline of Garruk's corruption a little bit. I know most people were confused because he was corrupted in the Innistrad set, but seemed to be uncorrupted in the Magic 2014 core set. People thought that Garruk had just been cured, but that is obviously not the case with the release of Garruk Apex Predator. This ongoing story of a corrupted Garruk is really interesting, and I can't wait to see how it plays out through M15. Rest assured, I will come out with a complete lore video on Garruk when I feel that the information is all present. In any case, if you have any other questions regarding Magic lore, please let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more on Magic the Gathering, and I'll see you next time.